Srimate Shankaracharya Dhimate Advaita Namostu Advaita Siddhanta Sthapanopatta Murtaye Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochate Moksha Siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Ikshaniya Muhurmuhu. In all these shlokas, several analogies have been given to show that the self, Atman, has been wrongly taken to be the body, or the body has been wrongly taken to be the Atman. So both ways, it is called Anyonya Adhyasa, and several examples have been given, and some more examples are going to be seen now. And after that, he is giving the sort of conclusion later on. So here we are now entering this 82nd shloka. Kacha bhumau.
Kacha bhumau jalatvam va jala bhumau hi kachata tatvadatmani dehatvam pashyatyagnana yogataha. Kacha bhumau, in a sheet of glass, jalatvam, of being water, va, indeed, jala bhumau, in spread of water, he, verily, kachata, being a sheet of glass, tatvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance.
So when we read this analogy, we are reminded of the Mahabharata serial, where it was very nicely demonstrated. The palace for Pandavas, built by Vishwakarma, they say. It is such a nice, very beautiful and very amazing palace. So Duryodhana visits the palace, and how he is ridiculed by Draupadi and other people when he is facing one after the other Brahma there. So he is, when he is making a sort of survey of the palace, he sees a place. It's actually a sitting room with sofas and all that. But in the middle, there is he sees there is some water. So he very carefully tries to go there, and then he places his leg, because he also is wondering how can the sofas be there when in this amidst this water. So if anybody has to approach a sofa and sit there, they will have to cross this water. They will have to walk on it. So he very carefully goes to walk on it, but then he falls there because it's really water there. But then in another place, he thinks that, no, I should not get seated now. So he thinks that it is only floor there, but then he keeps his foot there, and again it is water. And sometimes there is water appearing, and he wants to see, he wants to very carefully tread on that, but then it is not water, but it is floor only. So this happens repeatedly in 2-3 places, and on a wall also. It looks like there is an entry, but there is no entry there really. But there, when he thinks that there is no entry there, but then there is entry there. So this kind of Brahma is possible. So this kacha bhumo jalatvam va jala bhumo ki kachata tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogata. So this kind of Brahma is possible in the world, and that is why this example is given. Of course, it is not very different from the mirage water. There also there is the appearance of water, but then there is only pure ground, sandy ground. But then here, instead of sandy ground, it is the sheet of glass here. Then next look over the Yadvad Agnav.
Yadvad Agnav manitvam hi manav va vahnita puman tadvad atmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogataha. Yadvat, just as, Agnav, in fire, manitvam, of being a jewel, he, indeed, manav, in a jewel, va, verily, vahnita, of being fire, glowing cinder, puman, a person, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance.
Here, there is another example. This is not very commonly encountered by us, but then it is definitely possible. So here, the example literally here is there is a jewel. So it is red in color. It could be a red coral or red stone, precious stone, like emerald or whatever, emerald or sapphire or whatever. But then it is possible for a person to take that to be fire from a distance, or sometimes the fire, if it is of that shape, he might think that it is a jewel. So this is possible definitely. See, in the Panchadashi, Swami Vidyaranya gives an analogy for this kind of a Brahma. He says these things happen in the forest. So in the forest there is a plant called I don't know what it's called in English, but then it's small red seeds. So after the fruits have become dried, they are hard red seeds, and it is called Guruganji in Kannada. In Tamil, it's called Manjadi. So this is used for playing this Pallangudi and all that. That is Anubhuti Mani and all that. So and in Ganapati also, for the ice, they keep one kind of a variety of this kind only, this only for ice. So in that case, it will be half black and half red. But then in the case of other varieties of this same seeds, it will be fruits. It will be fully red in color. So Vidyaranya Swami, he gives the example of a heap of these fruits in a forest, and in the morning, because of the dew and all that on the which has fallen on the surface of this heap, there is sunshine also. And for a person who is looking at it from a distance, he will get a feeling that there is a fire blowing there from a distance, of course. So, but then Vidyaranya says, Gunja, so it is Gunja Punjadi Dahyeta Kim Anyaropita Vanhina. So Gunja Punjadi Dahyeta Kim Anyaropita Varnina. So just because this person is superimposing fire on that, is that heap of those fruits going to burn? So that is a question he says. So in the same way, a person might be a person who is in Brahma, he might imagine so many things, but in fact, those things are not going to happen. So here also, this money example is given for the same thing. So we can think of that example also to appreciate this. So next to Delhi, Abreshu
satsu dhavatsu somo dhavati bhati vai tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyatya yogataha. Abreshu dhavatsu satsu. When seen through the moving clouds, Somaha, the moon, Dhavati, moving, Bhati, appears. Why indeed? Tadvat, so too, Atmani, in the self, Dehatvam, bodyhood as the body, Pashyati, sees or perceives, Ajnana Yogataha, on account of ignorance.
So it is also commonly experienced by all of us. Abreshu Satsu Dhavatsu. So when the clouds are moving, the sun or moon, both are possible. These appear to be moving also, whereas the sun or moon will be static on the sky, whereas only these clouds are moving. So this is kind of an illusion, optical illusion. So this illusion also is an example for taking the body to be the Atman or Atman to be the body. So here this example is given very much in the other Vedanta texts also to show that what actually there is no movement at all for the sun or moon, which is static there. But then the movement of the clouds is wrongly superimposed on the movement on the sun, and the person thinks that it is moving. So in the same way, when the Atman is having no movement at all, it is nirvikari. Still, the movement or vikara happening in the body-mind complex is wrongly superimposed on the self, and the person says that I am getting this transformed thoughts, or I am transforming, or I am moving, and all that. So this example also is very significant in the Vedanta context. Then next to Yathaiva
dik viparvyaso mohad bhavati kasyachit tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogataha. Yatha eva, just as digviparvyasaha, confusion about direction, mohad, due to delusion, bhavati is, kasyachit, for a person, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance.
So this is an example which is similar to other examples considered before in this context itself. So the analogy of a person going in a boat, but he gets the feeling that the trees or mountains and all that on the shore, they are also moving. So this illusion was presented with a different material. So here a different material is shown here. Yadvat yathaiva digviparyasaha mohad bhavati kasyachite. For a person, it is possible that he sees south as north or north as south and all that because of viparyasa. That's called viparyasa. This can happen because of continuous rotating and all that. So in a wheel, in a merry-go-round and things like that, after a person gets out of that, this kind of feeling is possible. Many people would have experienced this. So that is the same here also. So digviparyasaha. So he thinks south to be north or north to be south. But then actually there's no change in the directions. But only he is under a Brahma. So in the same way, the Atman is taken to be the body and the body is taken to be the Atman. So this kind of Brahma is also possible. So next, Shashi Jale Bhati.
Yatha Shashi Jale Bhati Chanchalatvena Kasyachit Tatvadatmani Dehatvam Pashyatyagnana Yogataha. Yatha, just as Shashi, the moon, Jale in water, Bhati appears, Chanchalatvena as disturbed, Kasyachit for a person, Tadvat, so too, Atmani in the self, Dehatvam bodyhood as the body, Pashyati sees or perceives, Ajnana Yogataha on account of ignorance.
So this example is also very common in the Vedanta. So here, the reflection of sun or moon falling on some water body, and there is movement in the water, but then the person seeing the sun or moon along with the movement of the water as a reflection, he thinks that the moon is also, the reflection is also moving. So this kind of example is this analogy is very significant in the, it is actually stated in the Brahma Sutras also. So this example also is given in the Vedanta text for showing that the movement of the body-mind complex is wrongly attributed to the Atman. So this example shows that the body-mind complex is wrongly taken to be the Atman, and the Atman also is wrongly taken to be the body-mind complex, because sometimes there will be static, that is there will be nishabda or stillness in the mind. So this exactly has been stated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also, dhyayativa lelayativa. So when the Atman, when the mind is in meditation, there is no distraction and all that. So there is no transformation also in the mind. So that is, it appears as though the Atman is in meditation. And when the mind is in distraction, it appears as though the Atman is in under distraction. So this is also possible. Okay, so with this, the list of long analogies is over. Next, he enters into the core Vedanta part. Evam Atmani.
Evam Atmanya Vidyato Dehadyaso hi jayate sa evatma parijnana liyate cha paratmani. Evam, thus Atmani Avidyato, when the self is not known, Dehadhyasaha, the idea, that is notion, that I am the body, he verily jayate, persists, saha, that eva, same, atma, self, parijnataha, known, liyate, dissolves, cha, and paratmani, in the supreme self.
Atmani avidyataha dehadhyaso hi jayate. So in the first line, the superimposition has been stated. And in the second line, the realized state is stated. Sa eva atma parijnanat liyate cha paratmani. So the body-mind complex which was superimposed on the Atman, now it is completely merged in the sense it is completely disappearing in the substratum itself, in the Adhisthana itself. So where, see, actually the source for this appearance is also the Atman alone. Atman is the material on which this superimposition has happened, of course, because of avidya. And now because of vidya, that is realization, right knowledge, the superimposed object, which is actually a non-object, where does it go? Ultimately, it has to merge in the substratum itself, because it came from the substratum. So now it goes back to the substratum. Of course, here there is no physical coming and going back. It is only the person's viewpoint. So here in this, here for this sloka, Swami Vidyaranya gives a lengthy commentary. Evam Vadashabhihi Shlokaihi Uktamartham Upasamharati Evam iti. So in about 12 slokas, what has been stated is being concluded in this sloka. The topic Evam Uktena Prakarena Atmani Avidyataha Atma Ajnanat Dehadhyasaha Manushyoham Ityadi Buddhihi Jayate Bhavati. So it is stated as stated in the various analogies, because of ignorance, that is because of non-discrimination between the Atma and the Anatma, the Atman is taken as the Anatma, and Anatma is taken as Atma. That's called Anyonyadhyasa, so mutual superimposition. Evam uktena prakarena Atmani avidyataha Atma ajnanate dehadhyasaha Manushyoham. So how does the superimposition express itself? It expresses itself in the person thinking that I am a person, I am a human, and all that. So and sometimes it is also I am in that body. I am, so because his association with the wrong association or identification with the body, he thinks that I'm a body. So basically, it's thinking that I am a human, and then he iti prasiddha. So this is very, very common. Nanu etasya nivrittihi kutaha bhaved iti chet atma jnanadeva iti ityaha uttara adhyana. So how is this superimposition going to end? So it can end only because of right knowledge. Sayeva dehadhyasaha eva atma parijnanat brahmatmaike sakshatkarat paratmani अज्ञान तत्कार्य रहिते प्रत्यक अभिन्ने ब्रह्मणि लीयते ब्रह्मस्वरूपेण अवतिष्ठते. So this dehadhyasa, this superimposition of the body-mind complex, will end when the Atman, that is when the Atman is known as distinct from the body-mind complex, and also that the Atman is known to be non-different from Brahman. So that Mahavakya, that also is to be included here. That's why the Acharya says, Brahmatmeke sakshatkarat paratmani. So Brahmatmeke sakshatkara is the akandakara vritti, that is the direct realization, aparokṣānubhūti. Ajnana tat karya rahite pratyaka binne brahmani. So Brahman is the pure nirguna swarupam, where this kind of the superimposition, body-mind complex, nothing is there. So that Brahman is the one which is the substratum. So this body-mind complex and the samsara and all that was so far being experienced, now it is known to be mithya, and it is known to be non-distinct from the substratum, that is the Brahman. It doesn't have an existence apart from substratum Brahman. So we should not, I'm saying this because we should not think that the body-mind complex will disappear and the whole world also will disappear upon realization. No, that will not happen. Only that it will be known to be only an appearance and not having an existence apart from the substratum, that is the Brahmanatma. Nahi adhishtanam vina aropitasya swarupamasi. That's what he says. Without the substratum, the aropita, that is the superimposed object, doesn't have any swarupam. So when we are asked what is the swarupa of the body-mind complex, we have to say that it is the Brahman alone or Atman alone is the swarupa of it. So the swarupa of the superimposed sarpa, that is the snake, is actually the rope, underlying rope. So that is its real swarupa. Only thing, it is wrongly seen as a snake, but then when the truth is known, the snake will be realized to be non-different from the substratum, that is the rope. So here, nahi karane sati karyasya layaha sambhavati. So he says, when the karana is not there, the karya cannot undergo any laya. Laya means destruction or negation or sublation. So there are two kinds of disappearance or destruction for a karya, that is the effect. One is by physically breaking it or physically destroying it, so that it will it will go back to its original state of its material cause, that is the clay. For example, if we consider the pot as an example here. And the other way of destroying the pot is, it's not physically destroying, but then knowing by vichara that it is non-distinct from the clay it is made of. So the pot will continue to appear, and the utility of the pot also will be there. It won't go. But then the knowledge about the pot, the right understanding of the pot will change now. So that change in the perception will take place when this vichara is done. That's why in our Vedanta there is a very popular statement: vicharena vipariyati. Vicharena vipariyati. Vipariyati means it becomes topsy-turvy. That is, what was known before wrongly, now the opposite happens. So that what was known and understood to be wrongly understood to be pot, chain or bangle and all that, now will be known to be non-different from the gold or clay that it is made up of. So that's called vicharana vipariyati. So nahi karane sati karyasya laya sambhavati. Tasmat atmajnanadeva sakarana karya adhyasa nivartihi iti alam pallavitena. So in this Vedanta, the difference between an effect and the superimposed object is sought to be obliterated. So that's why in the Chandogya 6th chapter, where the clay products, gold and gold products, that the three analogies are given, in the Bhashya, the Bhagavad adds this Rajasarpa also. So some people might ask, so the Veda itself is not giving this Rajasarpa example. Why are you bringing it in here? Because the Veda is giving those examples which are where it is only vikara, there is only parinama happening. The clay gets transformed into pot, etc. The gold gets transformed into ornaments. But then there is no room for this bringing this Rajasarpa example at all there. Some people's objection will be that. But then from the when the very Veda, passage which gives these three examples, that itself says that Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mritiketyeva satyam. So it itself very clearly says that the transformed transformations are only words without any substantial thing to back it. But then when you inquire upon it, the satyam or the true aspect there is only the material cause. So the Veda itself is saying that it is the effects are false. So that's why Bhagavad gives the example of rope snake also there. So rope snake example is coming under the Vivartavada category, whereas the pot, clay and clay products, they are all actually in the Parinamavada category. But still, in Vedanta, these two get merged in such a way that any effect, whether it is the world, which is the product of the Panchabhutas and all that, that is also ultimately coming under the Vivartavada itself, because this transformation also has happened through a process of superimposed process itself. That is it's a series of superimpositions. That is, first the Panchabhutas are superimposed on Brahman, and then there itself the Karya Karana Ananyatva is there. The Karya is the Panchabhutas, whereas the Karanam is the Brahman. So the Panchabhutas have no existence apart from Brahman, just like the superimposed snake does not have any existence apart from the rope. So in the same way, at every stage this happens. So Panchabhutas get transformed into the Bhautika Prapancha that we see. So here also the Bhautika Prapancha has no existence apart from the Panchabhutas. And since the Panchabhutas themselves are actually having no existence apart from Brahman, this world also will have no existence apart from Brahman. So this kind of clarifications the Bhashyas and all that give. Okay, so here this commentary is ending. We can get into the next shloka. Sarvamatmataya jnatam.
Sarvamatmataya jnatam jagat sthavara jangamam abhavat sarvabhavanam dehasya swatmata kutaha. Sarvam, everything. Atmataya, as the self. Jnatam, known. Jagat sthavara jangamam, world of sentient and insentient. abhavat, absence, that is unreality, sarva bhavanam, of the whole universe, dehanam, of the body, cha, and atmata, oneself, kutaha, how.
Sarvam atmataya jnatam jagat stavar jangamam. So here is a case of Sarvam Brahmamayam or Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat and all that. In the Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, we have got the famous shloka, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagno Brahmanaputam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. So that is the shloka for which Bhagavad Pada takes up to bring in this idea. There, he is giving the yajna imagery where a person who was doing this yajna before he got this Brahman realization would be seeing the so many components or factors involved in the yajna, like the homakunda, the fire, and the dravya that is going to be offered into the fire, and the person who is offering, the action of offering, and all the other people like the rituals and all that. All the things he is seeing as separately different objects and different persons, entities, and all that. But then upon getting this Brahmatmika Jnanam, he sees the whole thing as non-different from Brahman. That's why the sloka says Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havihi, Brahma Agna. Agni is also Brahman. And the Arpanam, that is the act of offering, is also Brahman. Then the what is offered is also Brahman. Who is offering is also Brahman. So this is the way the Gita teaches. So the same concept is stated here also. Sarvam Atmayataya Jnatam Jagat Stavar Jagamam. Sarvam Jagate Sarvam Stavar Jangatmakam Jagat Atmataya Jnatam. So the whole world consisting of the moving and unmoving, Chetana and Jada and all that, everything is now seen as is known to be, realized to be non-different from Brahman or Atman. Abhavat sarvabhavanam devasya chatmata kutaha. Here what is happening is, when this realization happens, the objects which were seen to be distinct from from Brahman or distinct from each other, all these things, they will not disappear. It will be known to be having no real existence, no absolute existence of their own. So he will know that it is non-different from Brahman, or they do not have any existence apart from Brahman, just like a person who has realized that the appearance of water is actually a mirage only. So the water will continue to appear, but then he will have the knowledge that it is only a mirage. So, so that in the same way here also, abhavat sarvabhavanam dehasya atmata kutaha. So here in that shloka that I said now from the Gita, that is the Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, that is said to be shown to be the example for Badhayam Samanadhikaranim. Samanadhikaranim means equation. So this in the classical example of rope snake, the snake is equated to the rope, or the rope is equated to the snake. But then how is it possible? It can never be possible at all. But then on the condition that the snake is known to be realized, that superimposed snake is realized to be non-distinct from the rope, that equation is possible. So that's called Badhayam. Badha is actually the negation or the sublation, or the post-realization state is called Badha for the Sarpa. So before this realization that it is actually what is in front is only a rope, the person thinks that there is really a snake there, and he wants other people also not to come near, because he is very sure that it is snake only. But upon somebody showing that, or he himself discovering that it's only a rope which was appearing as a snake, then he himself will know that the snake is non-different from rope. So that's what Badhayam Samanadhikaranim. Now what has happened is, what was thought to be a real snake there, now it has undergone sublation or negation, and that process is called Badha. Badha in Sanskrit. Badha means this negation or sublation. So Badhayam Samanadhikaranim. So the Samanadhikaranim is equation between this snake and the rope is possible on the condition that Badha has taken place. So that's how it's equated. So in the same way here also, second line, Abhavat sarvabhavanam dehasya cha atmata kutaha. So when all the objects have become non-existent, actually they have not become in the sense of their disappearing. That non-existence has not happened really. They continue to exist, appear, but then the person who perceives because of his complete transformation in the thinking or in the viewing, or perception, he knows that it doesn't have a real existence at all. It is actually abhava, that is non-existent in all three periods of time. Before also, the world didn't exist in Brahman. Now also, it is not existing in Brahman. In future also, the world cannot exist in Brahman. So that is the idea. So with this, we can end this session here. Sriharim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prokṣate Moksha-siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Shastram Sharira Mimamsat Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santume Janmajanmani Vidyavini Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tatvajnam Vidushekaram Bharatim Om Tat Sat.